Hi everyone. Setting up the phone because Brother Lee is going to join us on this. And again, I'll wait till some get in here. And let's see. Doesn't appear anyone is here yet. You can see comments. All right. All right. We have 4 here. We're just getting set up, everyone. Waiting for Brother Lee to join. And we're doing this a little bit different. I'm doing this from my phone, but I also have the computer on so that I can watch any comments. Can someone put in the comments section, can you hear me all right? Am I coming in loud and clear? Thank you. So we're just getting set up here, waiting for Brother Lee to join. Yeah, and this is an important time and with this overall ascension and, of course, everything that is occurring worldwide in relation to the ascension. And, yeah, very important divine times we are in, absolutely unprecedented times. So still just waiting for Brother Lee to join, and we're going to get into... thank you, Kim. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Excellent. So you can hear me well and hear us well. Beautiful. So we're just getting situated. Everyone bear with us here, and Lee should be here at any moment. And add Lee into here. It's gotta... Let me just... hold it. Just checking with these settings on the phone. Should have been an add area. Yeah, okay. All right. Search. No, I don't have Brother here yet. So we're still waiting on Brother Lee to come in. I see Brother Lee. There he is. Okay. Bring him on camera. Add. Give this a moment. As we're getting set up. Excellent. So I can see the comments here. So with any that may have questions, if you will, Lee's being added now. I can see him there, ready to come in. And any and all questions we'll answer as we go through. All right. All right, we'll try it again, Lee. Um, for whatever reason, I know with Facebook things in the past were not very easy for navigating and doing these sort of things. So bear with us. All is well. All is divine timing. So, still waiting. Patience is a great virtue and required with this overall ascension. No, it said the connection failed again, brother. If you can hear me, Lee. Yeah, try it again. We'll get her. Let's see. I'll attempt to send you another invite, brother. Here we go. Invite. All right, Lee, I sent you an invite. Should come in your notifications, I believe. So check those and should be able to come on through that. Yeah, Facebook has a way to go yet, perhaps, with getting set up to accommodate these sort of things. We could have did this on a Zoom meeting or what have you, but we get more able to see us when we do the Facebook Live so that we can reach more. So this is why we reach more quicker, if you will. So this is why we're doing it this way. Yeah, it says we were adding it. Okay, we're trying again. Lee says no idea how to find invite on the phone. So it's not on the screen anywhere then? Yeah, for whatever reason, Lee, if you can hear me, I see you there, but the accept just is not, it's blocked out. How did we do it before, brother? All right, maybe it shows up on the screen. It's on the chat, Katie Kane said. Brother Lee, on the chat, you should be able to touch your chat and request to come in, I believe is what Katie is saying. So we're still waiting, everyone, attempting to get Brother Lee in here and connected. Yes, we're both in Romania yet, Rebecca. Thank you. Trying to get Lee in here. We got an important address that we wish to do. So. Hmm. Hold it. This time it'll work. All right, Lee, it should work this time, I think. The accept button. Come on. It didn't come on before. It says it's adding. Thank you all for your comments. It says it's adding you, Lee, so I'm watching the computer over here with the comments. Huh. All right, pressing everything. Well, again, it says it's adding you to here, and I accepted it. I see Katie asks to come on, but it doesn't accept that either. What other way? Yeah, I'll ask you again, brother. So I'm asking you to join. You should be receiving a notification somewhere. Nikki's still hanging in with us all. Yeah. We'll get this figured out. You know, this is not the first time. And it is such a shame, if you will, yet that Facebook doesn't make this easy for ones to do. But it is coming in the very near future. Well, we wish to do this live with both of us here. With Todd Medina and I just did a live, less than a week ago, and we were both able to do it. He was able to come on quickly. But in the past with Brother Lee, we've had complications. Yeah, so it's saying, Lee, no answer from you, and then it says no answer from the guest. So apparently something is being sent to you. It should be an invite, is what they're saying. And I believe it should be in your notifications. However, you may not be receiving it. Let me have is there any, brother, there should maybe a way that you can request to join. I'm adding you again. I'm going to ask you to join the broadcast so anyone can watch this. We'll try it again. Hold it. I think it's working. I hear something. Whoa, Sri Lanka just arrived. You're here, brother.
Can you hear me okay, brother?
Yes, I can hear you well. Woohoo. Thanks, everyone.
Get this phone hanging. Let me just get this organized. I've been... Okay. It's always fun to get on Facebook.
Yeah. Finally mastered it. How did you do it, Lee? What did you find? What made it work this time? Do you know?
Divinity, brother. Divinity is probably the easiest. Divinely went past that time. Is the fan making? Is there a noise coming through from the fan, or can you hear me okay?
I hear you loud and clear. How's the audience? Excellent. Are you hearing Lee well, everyone? Can someone just put a comment in here? Is everyone hearing Lee all right? I'm hearing you well, I believe so. We'll just see if we get a comment here that's saying that we do. Yes, thank you, Nikki.
Perfect.
Yes, Nikki says very well. All right, so we can begin the show. However long we are into this, we finally got it. This is a very important GPMS Ascension address as well. So this may be a while, and Brother Lee and I are going to touch on, I believe, many areas with this. Now, with GPMS.world, it is in the least the Ascension vehicle and instrument to facilitate the planetary ascension. So it is all connected. GPMS.world is not just some fly by night, if you will, concept and idea. It is the divine plan, the divine replacement system for the entire earth. So it is the most serious, unprecedented thing ever, if you will, in the history, her story of mankind. So we are at a very unprecedented, very important divine point with the advancement of humanity as a civilization. So all of this is included with what is going on with GPMS.world. Now, the main reason we're having this address today is because yesterday was November the 15th, and what I have been saying, what I was given to by Father perhaps a few months ago, is that back then, let's say in September, Father said to put out, it is very, very possible that GPMS can be implemented by November the 15th worldwide. So, having said this, November 15th has come to pass, and obviously GPMS is not implemented worldwide yet. Um, so with this, what I wish to say and what I had put out is, and he can look that I said it's Father says it's very, very possible, not that it was guaranteed or ascertained for that date. So ones need to realize this. But also with the divine plan, there is also divine incentives as well to energize and orient and direct the ascension. So one thing we could look at with what Father said that has not materialized, at least yet, but also because of the omnipotence of Prime Creator, could happen at any time in the blink of an eye, with a total reset, a miraculous reset of reality itself. So these things are all possible. Now, many may not know it. However, I do, and others know of these miraculous dimensional shifts and paradigm shifts that occur and can occur in the blink of an eye. But again, getting back with this, uh, to direct and get as many in alignment with this overall planetary ascension. We can fully see Prime Creator's strategy to that effect, because what GPMS is a divine energetic vehicle. And all of creation is energy. And the more that you have aligned with the one thought, the one concept, the one idea, the more you have aligned with that, you create that reality as well. This is creation. So we are consciously, if you will, also, and with the heart combined, creating this new reality. Um, so here we are, November 16th. GPMS has not been implemented yet. And as I said, it could happen in the blink of an eye. But nevertheless, it is inevitable. It is imminent. And with this, just playing around and looking at the AI, artificial intelligence of Chat GPT, what you will see on my timeline here in a comment, Brother William, I forget his last name, but he entered the possibility of GPMS.world into the chat. And the chat rationalized it as being reasonable and possible, I believe, within 1 to 2 years. Now, don't hold me as this quoted verbally. However, generically or generally, this is how we see it. So then I asked William, I said, what about including God, the power of God in this, so that the chat AI recognizes that God is real and, omnipotent and miraculous, and also put in what has transpired perhaps in the last several years with what looks like the majority or many knowing that there was a mass genocide attempt on humanity. So these were two important factors to include in to see what the chat would recognize. And the last that I heard, then the chat said, when you counter and factor in these two things, GPMS, the words are can or will happen swiftly. So again, it's the divine inevitability of it. And with GPMS, what I need to say, the logic of GPMS is sound, but what also is occurring, it's a higher logic that is even inconceivable to the scholastic community of the system and with economics professors or what have you, because the logic is the true logic. It's above the contaminated human logic, which is indoctrinated. So you would have a scholastic one, if you will, thinking that they knew the full capacity of economics, but what they didn't know, all they knew that they were they didn't know they were conditioned with inside a box of the system itself. So their logic could not accept, could not even envision the simple logic of GPMS, which is the higher logic. Right at that point, I'm going to stop because I believe, Brother Lee, you have some very good additions to that effect.
The scholastic logic is not wise, and wisdom is consciousness. The wealth, the value of humanity, which is their compassion, their love, their empathy, their good light, their light, their divine, their divinity, was stolen very, very early on by distortion, corruption, and what we would term beast machinery, lower frequential disturbances, corruptions within the systems, which stole the innocence of the human soul and created the human, and humanity was lost. The purity of the divine individuals was stolen and indoctrinated out through the system of corruption, which these ones are arguing through their logic is logical. It's not wise. It's extremely dark, and it loops and limits and separates and divides, corrupts, destroys, and that is what everybody believes is civilized. I will expand on this shortly, but GPMS is the inevitability of harmony, love and consciousness, feminine, masculine, principles, not genders, but principles are foundational to creation. One's nurture and one's wise, and they together work as creating harmony. This whole environment has been disharmonic, and that has corrupted the whole system into this dark, dense system, which it's the infinite and unlimited wealth, value of the individual has been lost to the external, extrinsic value of paper. The corruption has created a two-dimensional system controlled by the dark controllers, to which everybody is being a slave, indentured from the time they were born, and they did not know anything about it. And that is the deception. The deceiver deceived completely, and humanity, the love, the empathy, the beauty of the divine soul, the divine sparks of creation upon this realm was diminished through this system. Now, I will go into, I am sure, the mechanisms of this as we continue. Yet GPMS is the instrument by which each will return their value that was stolen from them and reclaim their divinity and replace this hellscape with heaven on earth. It is inevitable. Divine law, divine will has been proclaimed and will be respected. And this is the wise logic. This is the wisdom that we are speaking to, which is foundational, fundamental, and principal to the construction and the development and the simplicity of GPMS world. I'll hand it back to you on that, brother.
And thank you, brother. You know, reasonably and with rationalization, there is really no one that can justify not simply seeing the logic of the GPMS principle and instrument. And what I am saying with this, that the simple basics of GPMS.world is a worldwide vote. It's a referendum, but it's a worldwide vote to ratify a treaty of the people, in this case, to ratify the new reality. So when you have any speakers or any leaders out there that are genuine for the people, they don't need to even be a speaker or a leader to recognize how a vote works. A worldwide vote, and in this case, where it's the people worldwide, the people are the power, not governments, not any individual leaders. So having said this, the basic concept of GPMS cannot be ignored, it cannot be denied, and it cannot be diminished by any individual. And when you see this, as we've seen countless times at identifying controlled opposition that are supposed speakers and leaders of the people ignoring GPMS, there is no justification of what they are doing other than they are controlled opposition. Because again, the simple logic of GPMS is a worldwide vote to implement a system that eradicates poverty, that does no harm to humanity, that does not inflict harm upon humanity. And this present worldwide system you have now, in all of its entirety and its construct, it is designed to deliver harm at the end of it. This is why you have all of the different classes, low, high, middle, but the lower and the impoverished class, because the system itself is the beast, dark system designed to create misery, suffering, suppression, and enslavement. So again, any competent speaker or leader of the people knows these basics of what the system does. It's not complicated. So again, there is no excuse by any genuine, and I say genuine, leader or speaker of the people not to give this to their people they're representing. I'll stop there, brother.
The, the falsity in all of this is the belief that there's limitation, scarcity, and lack. And again, this is created through a dual system where the developers and the printers and the creators of money do it without any debt. There is never debt. at the higher level of money creation, funding creation. If you look around the planet in the last 4 years, 5 years, you've seen a genocidal attempt where trillions of dollars were created to fight an invisible enemy. You've seen wars, you've seen quantitative easings, you've seen all sorts of different things occurring where all of a sudden they can pull millions and billions out of nowhere. Yet there's nothing left for you. All over the planet, 8,000, 10,000 children a day dying, just not having water. Water. The only thing the human vessel requires to survive, and we can't afford that. The whole system is dark and corrupt, yet these ones and many others, everybody, all of us, I was, same as, indoctrinated into believing that this system was the only way we could survive because we're all warmongering animals and we need these governments and controllers and politicians and queens and kings to stop us from tearing each other apart. It's an inversion. The intrinsic wealth of each taken away, and compassion. So much of this system creates so much division that ones have got some, many have got nothing, and a few have got all of it. And we see this as somewhere near level, equal, okay. Where's the compassion? You can't have 99 of you okay and one suffering. This isn't right.
The system,
and the whole,
brother,
whole thing is
it's by the deliberate design. It's intentional. The system.
I know.
Yeah,
I realize.
Go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say,
we know, but I wanted to
this.
interject that. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, brother. My apology. So the whole thing was designed, like Brother Rick is saying, to corrupt the morality of each into immorality, to accept that which is intolerable, to forgive it, and to keep voting them in. And the people were corrupted to choose to continue to do this as if it was necessary. The immorality being installed into each, having to blinker themselves about the suffering around the rest of the world, whilst they are trying to maintain their own survival. These are God's children. There are many on this planet that already know that they are God's children, yet they do not believe they are God's. And there was a great meme yesterday I saw, and it was, is a puppy not a dog? Is a calf not a horse? Is a human baby not a human? Why is a child of God not a God? And this is another infiltration and a separation from ones to believe they are so much lesser and they have no wealth, and it controls them through the 2D paper. So without going into too much more of this, I will just give some reasons why GPMS.world is a necessity, a must, a moral pathway which cannot be ignored, yet is being ignored through limitation, fear-based mindsets. This must cease. So back over to you, brother.
Exactly. There is the moral obligation for everyone, if you will, to be a part of GPMS as soon as possible. So you now have the choice, which is divinely here, to choose the moral system or to choose the immoral system. The immoral system is what you currently have here today. But every human soul, being a human soul, are morally obligated to pick the higher system and to get this done. It is not righteous, this current system, with its monetary policy and its artificial man-made laws that are inflicting and causing great harm upon humanity. So having said this, again, it becomes every individual's moral obligation. And the divine plan, GPMS.world, has been given simply to everyone, where they don't even need to be awake to recognize that GPMS.world is a choice for a new system that raises all boats and makes everyone happy. They don't need to be awake. They don't need to be suppressed and trampled into fear. when you hear any of this, that they need to be pushed into fear to awaken the masses, this is a deception, and it's a concoction of the darkness theirself to keep the fear element in your energetic environment alive so that the actual evil themselves can exist. So it's an illusion. Also, another quick illusion where one say we are all one with the darkness. That is not true. This is another trickery that's imposed upon ones so that if you accept the evil, you are condoning it and keeping the darkness in your reality. Yes, you can have the analogy of the negativity, which is associated with a certain darkness within the individual. However, that is not evil, what is in the individual. There is the actual evil here upon earth. And when you say, you need to be meticulous when you say, where we go one, we go all, because that is not correct. The evil does not go forward.
To jump in, brother? Shall I
Yes,
jump? Yeah. To carry
please.
this forward, let's go into the simplicity of GPMS. It is a collective vote, cumulative vote. It is a worldwide referendum. It is a simple choice that we value ourselves intrinsically and unlimitedly, which is the truth, not this fakery, but each is unlimited in their own value intrinsically. And all of the things that have been created on this planet have been created by and for humanity. They are owned, guardianed, and each and every single one is a shareholder of all the infrastructure and every single thing on this planet. It is not owned by corporations and individuals. It is owned by the people. This is evidenced by each and every one paying tax and paying all of the things to it, shareholders to it, having debts and country debts and all these things, which again is another falsity. But each and every one is a shareholder to each and every thing, and each and every one is unlimited in their intrinsic value, yet reduced to poverty in their extrinsic value. GPMS World honors the intrinsic value of each, bringing each together to take ownership and guardianship of the monetary systems, of the banks, of the printing presses, and all of the things that we utilize, ours, not theirs, to share and spread the money, equally funding everything from the unlimited intrinsic nature with no lack or scarcity involved, poverty, all of these things gone from existence when we choose to do it. This requires a collective majority decision, a moral decision by each and every one to say, yes, that's what we deserve. That's what we would prefer. Let's come together and do that. GPMS is not being done for you. It is being done by you because it is yours. It is the people's, it is the human souls, and it is the human soul's unalienable right of this. Now, secondly to this, there is the divine law, which will be agreed upon too. So not only is it the monetary system and unfunding and removing all of this, unlimiting, and removing all of this scarcity, economics, competition, corporations, businesses, ridiculous nature. We should all be working for the benefit of each other. Nevertheless, divine law will be enforced, and that is nice and simple because each and every one knows it within their heart as to what it means, and it's simple. Do no harm. Do unto another as you would have them do unto you. It is only the fear-based and the dark ones that wish to repel against this. They don't want that. They want to do harm, so they invert all of this. So nice and simply, GPMS says each and every single one is equal, born equal, and funds it. We can fund it all from this area. This would then mean that. Just sorry, there was an echo, and it's just sent me sideways. Born equal. It would then. Sorry, brother, I've lost the train of thought. Can you come in?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I did that. Yes, we're all born equal, meaning that there's no one that has the authority above every one of you watching this to create money. And this is very important. You know, an example just how one's asked with GPMS, how is the money created? Well, the money is created the same way it's created today However, the distribution of it is equal. I'll take Canada as an example. When the country of Canada, like every other country, when it creates money, what it does is creates bonds and treasury bills that their central bank will buy. But in the moment the government creates these assets for the central bank to buy, someone, the government themselves, created that money. So what we are doing with GPMS.world, no, the government does not have the inclusive right to create money. It's the people. So it is the control and the use of that money and how the governments and banks do it that neglects humanity and inflicts the harm. So we know this, and what we do, the people as a whole, with a prudence and a responsibility, create the money. It's done simply. So I needed to add this in that, let's say, if you look at the government of Canada with Trudeau, just giving the go-ahead to print the money, all of us can do this with the new system that we are bringing in, the replacement system for humanity. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on
Yeah.
that, brother? I tried to keep it as simple as I could.
It's not that we could do this, we will do this. It is inevitable because it is moral, and the moral principles are founded in divine law. Um, Virtue, integrity, honor are principles to which divine law stands upon, and it's the principles to which GPMS stands upon. Equality, trust, loyalty, all of these good things, as opposed to the previous ones. And this is what humanity will choose because it's what's written inside the light, inside the heart of the human soul.
So
This is inevitable.
I like to say,
Yep.
brother, to divinely interrupt, it's stupid, idiotic for every individual to allow, if you will, a government to create money and put them in a state of disharmony. So this is the thing. What we're saying is that all of you need to assign the value to yourself and know your full ability. Money or any extrinsic value would not exist unless you existed. So the store of the actual value comes from you. But this is the thing. When it's tricked from you and you give your power to a government or a bank to create money, that's where you have just robbed yourself. And this is also the illusion with this. Now, so I'm going to just quickly change the topic here because this is also important. Uh, GPMS is the full absolute freedom and abundance system for humanity. Now, what we said earlier, everyone upon earth, what you think is human is not human. There is evil here and a conglomeration of nefarious ETs and what have you. But none of this matters. We are the invincible, omnipotent delegation of God to get this done. Prime Creator is the supreme creator of Earth. And with all of this, Mother and Father God, what they say goes, not what some little nefarious ETs and evil says. No, none of that works. But getting to the point of this, ones need to realize that this is your new world, GPMS.world. As I said, it's the full freedom and abundant reality for humanity. Now, where the darkness and evil cannot go, they cannot exist in a world of complete harmony and joy because they are the distortion, their self, the evil. What they are doing in this present time, we are contending a bit with these false narratives, and everyone needs to realize that, yes, The evil, the darkness, were the masters of deception themselves. They were the masters of deception. They are no longer the masters of deception because their deception will not work. And we are bringing the absolute truth, which is pure, onto earth. So they cannot distort truth. There is no contest. Yet, what they attempt to do is to disillusion ones and keep ones into complacency with false narratives. One of the biggest things I will say, examples of this, is the Nasara concept that they've been constantly putting out millions of times. Perhaps they had said, it's happening, I can see the numbers on the screen, it's going to happen tomorrow, go to Reno, go somewheres, be ready. This has been going on for 20 years. What you need to know, this is an example of the trickery to keep ones complacent while the darkness was playing out their agenda for the last 4 years at annihilating ones. So what they do with these trickery mechanisms is keep you distracted and keep you in a place of complacency, expecting that some white savior is going to come to save you. This is the falsity. This is the illusion to keep you from owning your own power. Go ahead, brother.
1952, I believe, they came up with Jazara Nizara at the same time that they introduced all of the other Bilderberg and WEF groups, all designed actually for this time, because this is the
It's
time of
politics.
ascension. This is the time when humanity rise into their freedom and their divinity. One of the other things that GPMS states is the unalienable right of self-determination, moral self-determination, which means everybody is free to do whatever they wish without regulation, restriction, corruption, or any of these things involved, because everybody's doing it under the auspice of do no harm, with full funding and freedoms to do this, respecting each other as you would have the other respect yourself. This current system does not allow humanity to do this, boxes everybody into small little boxes, and then restricts every single movement, every thought, every action. This is abhorrent, and it is a dark control mechanism, all done via fear-based narratives, which keep ones in a survival mechanism, all done through extreme complexity, which is a complete deception. But divinity is very simple. What's going on here is very simple. What the human soul is very simple. Yet the darkness has churned all of that around and created these erudite academics, intellectuals, who have completely ignored wisdom and just sat on logic, which didn't work. This whole corruption we're at the end of it. The Jazara Nizara, BRICS, GCR, RFK being voted in for MAGA, all of these things, they're all corruptions. They're all, every single one of them, deceptions to keep you sat on your hands, waiting for the better world to come. And they'll give you a couple of scraps from their table, but you are not worthless beggars, brothers and sisters. Scraps from the table is not what you are deserved of. You are divine, infinite wealth in human souls. And you will remember this shortly, and we will take this all forwards. And all you need to do is have a look into your hearts and just stop these fear-based limitations. Stop looking at these snakes for that being saviors, and stop looking at their narratives. Look inwards at your honor, integrity, virtue, your love for each other. And that's where you'll see GPMS. And that's when the exodus will happen. And the ark, which is GPMS, which will float every ship into the new reality, will be chosen. And this is inevitable. It's divine law, divine will. And we are here to facilitate this, guarantee this, assist this, and light the path for it through these deceptions. They do not stand in the light of truth. They do not stand in front of us. They do not stand in divine law. And all we need to do is remember and choose this, come together and do this. GPMS is the people's initiative instrument. It's the vehicle of change from this landscape into one that is free, abundant, released of fear-based frequencies. And that's where the dark exists, in the fear-based frequencies. Once we come together, unite, remember that we are the value, remove the poverty and the fear. They cannot exist here. It's not a case of worrying about what they're going to do or what they're going to do about this. We are the ones that take all of this forward, and they simply disappear. And this is all it takes is unity. All it takes is an agreement. All it takes is to say, yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do this. And we get it done. Over to you, brother.
Thank you, brother. With any that is thinking about going back to the old constitutions, what we see out there, this is another trickery to loop you back. If those constitutions from 1776 or 1876 in the U.S. or even in Serbia and other countries, if any of these constitutions actually worked and did what they said they did, you would not be in the situation you're in today. So it becomes obvious that none of that works. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, again, ones need to not get caught into these constitutional games and narratives as well. The only constitution that anyone needs, and it doesn't need to be written, is in your heart, your moral behavior. You know how to act. It doesn't need to be written.
There's more to this than meets the eye with these ones that are looping into constitutional and legal systems that are trying to defeat the system within the system, because the system rewrites itself. The system rewrites itself completely. And in trying to release yourself through the legal system, you have not released the corporate nature of the corporations, which is actually running the world, through the government structures, which are corporations too. And if you understand the word corpse, then you understand what these are. These are dead entities. And each and every single one of you is an employee of that corpse by being registered at birth to it as a child of the state. It's not a state, it's a corporation. You become an employee of it, and you are under its regulations. You have no freedoms under there. You cannot fight in its legal system because you are an employee of it. You are not a human. You are an employee. You are a corpse. They can do with you what they will, and they can rewrite their own corporation, their own constitutions, which is actually policies. And you only have privileges. You do not have rights, and they can remove them instantly. It matters not what you do within there. There is no way out. Now, having said that, once each and every single one agrees to do no harm, divine law, or each and every one, the majority, then that do no harm instantly null and voids everything previous that does do harm. So these ones that are trying to defeat the legal system within the legal system by believing they can use loopholes within it, the way to do this is to null and void it by choosing to do no harm. There's the simplicity of GPMS. In agreement to do no harm, all man-made false structural regulations, mandates, policies, laws, legalities, and all of these corporate policies are instantly null and voided because we take ownership of the corporations, and we don't make them corporations anymore. We make them administrations, and they administer to the people's needs without restriction. We change them by taking over them. We don't change them from within, we change them from without, and we remove that which is superfluous overnight from them, stripping it of its superfluous negativity and its dark doing harm tactics. And we create it in the light very, very quickly. This will not take long. It's already all in place. Nothing needs to be built currently. It can all be upgraded. All we need to do is agree to take the infrastructure, the essential services and everything else into the ownership of the people and out of the ownership of the corporations, which is where the few have the ownership of that. The corporations are funded by the money creators. There is no debt except in the corporation structures. And this is where you find your stock exchanges and all of these economies. They're within the corporate system. Outside of that is the higher banking systems. That's what funds it all. Funding, not debt-based economies. That's a lie. And all of this is a looping mechanism to keep one's trapped within it. Back to you, brother.
Mm. At this point, is there any questions anyone can bring up? And simply again, we had important. Any questions at this time? Please put them in the queue, and we can answer them. What I had said, I made a truthful statement last night or the other day in a post. I'll make this statement here again. And what I said, if right today, if I was the Prime Minister of Canada, within a week, all of Canadians would be receiving this money, what GPMS creates instantly. But also, having said this, using Canada as an example, if it was the majority with GPMS.world, it sets off a chain reaction worldwide that all other nations and peoples must go with the GPMS system, because the GPMS money is unlimited in value. Nothing can compete with the absoluteness of this intrinsic value. So ones need to understand the power of also what GPMS is, how it frees all of you worldwide and places everyone in abundance. And nothing can contest it, nothing can oppose it, because what GPMS is the ultimate reality and replacement system for humanity. Nothing is as valuable in the sense of money or monetary exchange as what GPMS is. It is the superior. So again, there is no contest. And when we look at the lawful uh, arrangement of GPMS, it is lawful in the highest degree. It is the superior law. For one reason, it's foundationed on do no harm. This means any constructs or attributes of this replacement system cannot do any harm to humanity whatsoever. This is in direct conflict with the present system, that is, with all of its attributes, its bureaucracies, its what have you. At the end of all of these, it does direct to the individual and inflicts a certain degree of harm. So again, to keep things simple for everyone, one of the things with GPMS is we've been given it to what we call prominent influencers worldwide. We've even given it inadvertently to Trump, the Trump regime. The Queen of Denmark was tested, and also the Russian government, directed right to Putin, was given this opportunity, if you will, with no response. And ignorance is not bliss or not just an innocent plea. It becomes deliberate, if you will. But again, we don't need to identify the actual naysayers herself. We just gather the majority, which is in alignment, that just wants love, peace, harmony, abundance, and freedom, because that's where the majority is at. However, during the course of doing this, we do give the education to ones, hey, we give it to you simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to be a president to figure out the simplicity of this. You don't even need to be a leader. It's obvious that the present leaders, there is no plea of ignorance by them, because this is the most logical, common sense concept. So when you see ones denying it
Leaders.
or not accepting it, when you see this, you know that there is something else at play. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I made a mistake there, brother. I hope I didn't lose your train of thought.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. We got any questions? No, I don't see any yet in the queue, so that's fine. That's a
The
good
the
sign.
the,
That means we're pretty
the whole of
clear and
this,
concise. Go ahead.
the, all of the leaders, so called, all of them are part of the same system. They cannot be in that system unless they know of that system. They wouldn't be there in this nature. The nature of this system would not put any of these anywhere near anything that would agree to assist humanity. Now, you can, to our brothers and sisters who are so enamored with and currently in America, USA, there is currently, as you well know, no government assistance for you, but there is a mass infiltration, infestation ongoing inside the USA. To our brothers and sisters in the UK, you are currently being absolutely and utterly humiliated by the government. The inversion that is ongoing currently by that regime is abhorrent, and you all know it. Your heads are in the sand currently, hoping it's going to get better. Philippines, that I all over East Asia, I've met so many that are impoverished, worthless, hopeless, valueless. All of these natures are what the government has, the system has inflicted upon you. There is no time to consider whether or not you can make it right by voting somebody else in. Have you not seen enough yet? Or do you still need to see more? Because they are showing you, and very shortly they are going to show you a lot more. And this is going to raise concerns. And you pull your heads out and have a look at what's going on and look inside. Currently, there is it. It's undeniable, this truth, yet it's being denied. And it's being denied because of fear-based limitations currently that are so heavily enforced by the system that you believe is going to be the one that saves you. There is no savior inside this system because you are, each and every single one of you, your own savior. And this is why GPMS is here. And this is why it requires a collective majority, because each and every one chooses to do it. Therefore, they respect and honor it. They value it and are a shareholder in it. It's not being done for you. It's being done by you. And that is why it will be so worth. You will fill yourself with worth. It will be valuable. There is nothing inside this system of value. It drains it. It pulls it out of every single one daily in turmoil and torment and pretends that you're free. You are not. In choosing freedom, in aligning into unity, in accepting trust in yourselves and therefore in each other to do this. This is the moral obligation. This is integrity, virtue, valor, and honor. This is the change of direction which we are currently about to have. I believe this is also called GPMS and Ascension. This is the Ascension choice, and this is the vehicle to do it. So this is the unity that brings this together, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, brother. And having said that, none of us would be here if it was not supported by God, if you will. As many of you know, we would have been eradicated, if you will, if we were not supported by God. And I need to say this because this is the reality of it. It is the ascension, and it is fully endorsed by God to take ones into the heaven on earth scenario. So for any that is, let's say, religious, but also knows of the prophecies through antiquity, you know, this time has been spoken about. It doesn't matter if you go into scripture, religion, prophecy. It's all there. This time has been spoken about. We are here now. This is what's occurring. However, it's occurring in the way that the choice needs to be made by every individual towards this. It's also being done this way because there is a sense of urgency for humanity to do the right thing. When you began, if you don't already know about all of the devastating worldwide floods with insurmountable amounts of water that is coming from not only the sky up underneath the ground, yeah, time is running out for humanity to make the right choices, because what's contributing to this water is the distortion as well, because so many are in fear without getting too deep into the metaphysics and the energetics of creation. Now, for the most part, upon earth, around 77% believe in God. These are the human souls that are upon earth. And yes, everyone in these judgment days, if you will, needs to pay attention to what they're doing. And you need to do the moral and righteous things. So it is important, and there is the definite point at being as virtuous as you can be, but also being righteous. You know, you've been seated and taught these core values and how important it is for this time. So these need to be definitely utilized and employed by the individual to the full capacity to take things forward. These are the judgment days. No one can refute it. Look at what's happening in the world. And so what I say with that, I fully know who I am, and I openly say it. I'm a direct son of God, prime creator, mother, and father, if you will. And I openly say that and proclaim it because it is truth. No one can say to me, Rick, you're not, because I know that I am. When they say to me, you're not, they are lying. They're not in truth. I am in truth, and I am. I am one with the Father. And I say that. And I would not be a guardian of this divine GPMS instrument that creates the heaven on earth if I was not. I would not be here. If I was only humanoid Rick, I'd be having fun in the mountains in La La Land, if you will. I wouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing this because I am who I say I am, and I am what I am, which is divine, connected straight to Prime Creator. But with this, I'm not the only one. There's 5 million of us with that close association to Prime Creator upon earth now, both feminine and masculine. And more every day are joining. Those numbers are getting bigger. And there needs to be more, and there needs to be everyone to stand up. Throw away the facade of having a healing business and making money and making the individual an object for to make money off of. These things don't serve. They are part of the old illusion and the entrapment and the enslavement. So ones you need to just, it doesn't take long. Just stop and think for yourself for a few minutes. Look into your heart. What is right to do? And very quickly you'll see that GPMS is the only answer, and it is the only way. You see many parallel propositions, if you will, for the new way. But all of these include fear in it. This is the problem. GPMS does not include fear. It does not need to conceal because GPMS is transparent. This is godlike. These are the good things. Anything you see that tries to conceal or say that a select few are the chosen ones, this is not correct. This is part of an illusion. All of the human souls equally are the chosen ones. All of the children as well. It's all of us.
Beautiful, brother. And I was terming myself a divine designation. Yet I am a direct son of God, connected directly to mother and father. And I am here too. As I was as Rick was beautifully putting out there, so are you. All of the human souls are connected in this way. And it is simply about remembering that and knowing that and honoring that and walking that changes all of this. Yet this must be done through the first steps of righteousness, honor, integrity, virtue, and representing that which is already written within you. So this is what we're talking to here. This is the principles on which GPMS is founded. The honor, the integrity, the virtue, and all of these are godlike. They are representations of the soul. They are love. They are wise. They don't create harm. They don't wish to create harm. They wish to create harmony. And yet each wishes to live in a heaven. Each wishes for freedom. Yet they're choosing this system, which doesn't represent any of this, as their world. And this is the inversion. This is what we've currently been sharing the light to. In all of this is the same false ideologies, the false belief systems, the fear-based limitations which the dark has imposed to dim that light, and in an attempt to stop this remembering, not only remembering as in the coming back to a memory, but as in returning membership to the divine echelons, to the higher realms, to the higher frequencies, where this lesser evil-based concepts of selfishness, greed, arrogance, competition, infighting, profit, loss, regulations, poverty, scarcity, lack mentalities, charities required just to feed ones, and all of this is not right. It's not right. It's not righteous. It never has been, and it wasn't chosen by humanity. It was imposed upon humanity. The histories, his stories that you have in your timelines are false. They're all inverted. They are written by the victor, and the victor was always the system, and it chose what to put in there to impose this mentality. False timelines, holographic representations of falsities that are all enforced by academicians and historians to make them real. There's the word to reify, to take something and make it real. And this is what's happened through the belief systems of the human souls. It has been reified and became existence. Each and every one is a co-creator of reality. Not only do you create your own, you create it as a co-creator with everybody else. And this is what has been corrupted by this dark system. So you reify false belief systems. Brother Rick said a little bit earlier something about idiotic, and I'd like to explain what idiotic means. There's an ancient word called Gnostic, gnosis. Its etymology is the basis of knowledge. Its meaning is inner knowledge, innate knowledge, truth that comes from within, a resonance. The exact opposite of that is idiosis, idiotic. This is the externalized information going in and creating a belief system. There's many idiots running around currently believing the external narratives as if they were real and not looking at their inner innate gnosis, knowledge. This is not wise. This is the intellectuals that are doing this, and the ones believe it because of the complexity that it's created. It's anti-logic. Logic, base, logos, past, present, future. Past, present, future is wisdom. Christos, base, Christ. Christ, anti-Christos, anti-logos. Everybody knows of the Antichrist, yet they do not believe the anti-Christos is here. They do not believe the anti-logos is currently here. Yet the belief systems, the idiotic externalized belief systems, have created anti-logic, anti-logos, and it's believed as true. The inversion of this dark system is to take that which is wrong and make it right, feel right, believe it's right. But this is an inversion of an emotional spectrum, a disturbance, a distortion, a corruption that tricked, deceived the human souls into believing these constructs are real. So we are currently at a time of the apocalypse, which is the great revealing, the unveiling, the turning over of every stone, the lighting up that which was unknown and unseen. And this will highlight this for all of those. If it's not undeniable yet, it will be very shortly, that all of these lies and inversions and these immoralities and this dishonorable, disgraceful acts are all from lesser places believed to be right, but they're not righteous. And there's the principles upon which the new is formed, the righteous, not the self-right, not the right and wrong, but the righteous, the truth, the logos, the wisdom, the Christ, the Christ. This is what is returning. Ones are waiting to see the Christ return, as if it's something external to them. It's an internal thing. It's your divinity. Each and every one is the Christ. Each and every one has the innate ability to see through this deception. All they need to do is stop believing the external snakes and what it is that they have told you and taught you. And have a think about this and look within at the gnosis, not the idiosis. And you will see it is undeniable that something must be done. A change of course, a change of path, a change of choice. And GPMS is that choice to begin and to create and to construct this. It is the ark, and it's about to reign, brothers and sisters. Over to you, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother. Um, yeah, so the current system is a criminal system. It's a criminal system again because it inadvertently and advertently causes suffering that leads to death. So when you look at this current system, if you're supporting that rather than ratifying the new system that doesn't do it, you actually become an accomplice to the crime of the system, the current system, because you're supporting that. So ones also need to know what you are doing. You're incriminating yourself into the criminal status with this current system. What is here? Again, with GPMS, there is no criminality for the simple reasoning it's do no harm. It does not inflict harm. So again, with the moral sense, each one needs to look at what are you morally doing? Is it righteous what you're doing by not choosing the new replacement system that is here, GPMS.world, with this? So, we're giving this from many perspectives, from the divine perspective, from the higher logic, even from the lower logic, from one that may be illiterate, uneducated, because we have the simplicity which is all encompassing, which accommodates every level of consciousness and mentality. So again, there is no excuse. We are all encompassing, we are concrete with this. Now, having said this, GPMS, the heaven on earth scenario, can be right from this moment physically, manually implemented in about a month. When we have all of the divine ones that actually know what they're here to do, and that's to change the earth, the present is not acceptable to God and to us. Once you know that, and you align with the divine plan, the new world, and stand with your brothers and sisters, we can get this done very quickly, manually, without direct divine intervention at shifting the timelines and creating even more unprecedented, profound miracles in the sky and on land. We don't really need it, but we have it if it needs to be done. And this is Prime Creator's choice. So having said this, we need our brothers and sisters to stand up here right away and do what is right and to do what they come here to do. Stop playing in the playground and supporting something that is criminal, the current system. So it's, again, this can be done very quickly. And having said this, another thing with the criminal system, another reason why it's criminal, and for you, any that are still supporting it, without putting their agreement with GPMS, what you're doing is there's approximately 33 to 35,000 that die daily around the world due to starvation. And most of those are children, 15,000 children dying a day of starvation on a world that produces 10 times more the amount of food to feed the population currently. This is insanity. It's savagery. It's cruel. It's criminal. So again, why, look at what you're doing, and don't be selfish in looking out for number one. Oh, I'm happy and I'm good with supporting the system. You need to go deeper and look at how you also, if you continue to support the system, you are corrupting any ounce of morality that you may have within you. So you need to make the choice, and you need to make it now. The longer we wait, the more that are dying. The floods are coming. Children are dying of starvation, famine, all of these things are getting bigger and bigger. So everyone needs to make a choice now. What do you want? This current system that is destroying the world? Or do you want the replacement divine system of GPMS that creates the heaven on earth? It's that simple.
There's two things I'd love to add to this, brother. One is something referred back to that you mentioned a bit earlier about Judgment Day. To our human brothers and sisters, this is GPMS. This is continuing. This is a judgment on yourself currently to choose this with what's ongoing. Judgment Day is not from something external. It's from an internal place. This is another one that ones think is they're being judged from outside. No, you judge yourself by your actions. You are judged by your actions,
And
by
your
yourself.
choices.
Your higher choice, your higher self. Yes, your choices are your actions. Your thoughts are your actions. Your lesser thoughts, fear-based thoughts, they are your actions. They create your actions. Every thought that you have, every manipulative, lower egoic thought that you have decides upon your actions. And on every single one of those, you are judged. Now, on our higher brothers and sisters currently, who are still in some forms of separation, and this is calling for unity at this time, the divine echelons that are on the planet who know to whatever degree what they are, who they are, you are about to have nowhere to hide. The distortions are going to be completely obliterated on this frequency layers, in these lower layers. To those who believe they are right, you are about to undergo a little bit of a shift in perspective, and this is a beautiful repackaging and reevaluation. And I would suggest currently that we have a look at this and heed these words with the authority to which they are delivered. This is the time, brothers and sisters, for the divine feminine and the divine masculine to come together, inner and outer. As within, so without. The inner world unites wisdom and love. Two functions of creation, consciousness and love. One's wise, one's nurturing. One doesn't reject the other. This is on an inner world, your inner plane. The emotions and the feelings need to be reconciled by the higher consciousness. That is where wisdom is. The masculine love has not been interpreted. It's been misrepresented. Inside, I did it too. This isn't about the feminine. This is about the masculine and the feminine internal. This is about the principles. When we have been looking for something outside which we have not been able to give ourselves inside, and this has been denying the consciousness, the wisdom. The magnetic has been overpowering the electric, and this is in a belief system that is externalized. There is a change of this ongoing currently, and this is what we're talking, this is where we are currently. This 10 days upcoming is going to be an interesting one, where we are repackaging and reevaluating and moving things to a unity. GPMS is that place that we come together and we shift this dark frequency, so our human children, God's children, are not in this realm anymore. And this must be done by the higher echelons who are here to do this. It was the mission, it is the mission, and it is now. I'll leave it at that, brother.
Thank you, brother. I got a couple of notes so I didn't forget. Uh, you, you know, what I will say is that most, not most of you, but many, as what Lee was saying, did things that, let's say, were not right. And let's say, to take it to extremes, there's been some children of God that, because of the system, were forced into doing bad things. Having said this, it is not the sin nor the fault of the individual. The root cause was the current system itself that put ones into these positions. So at this time, no one has any sin. It's important to say this. And everyone
No.
upon earth is given the opportunity at this time to make amends and to make the right choice, to instantly deliver themselves from any negativity or corruption. So I need to say this, that everyone in that way. So, you know, in this time, we fully understand you still have the current system. The new system is here. So with everyone, what you are doing, you still need to exist and survive for the most part, most of you. So what I say with this, whatever methods that you have of surviving, if you have a job or what have you, ensure that you do everything honestly, because the system has mechanisms in it as well to make you uh, do nefarious things, insidious things. For example, I'll use cheat on your taxes. It, and really don't even pay your taxes is what we say, but if you still feel to pay your taxes, don't cheat, because the moment you cheat, you are in deceptive form, and with your energetic field, what it does, it negates your energetic field, where you begin to attract like negative things, karma, which is deception. And what it will do energetically, it will diminish and lower your energetic field, and it will continue to implode to put you in destitute. So all of you that are aware of energetics and even karma and dharma, you need to look at this, and you need to do the right thing without getting deep into that. Importantly,
I'm
every go ahead, brother.
again, brother, because we're pincering this. Innocence was lost, stolen. Innocence, the child innocence, the joy, all of it stolen. This is the basis of the sin. There is no sin. All of the memories are based upon all of the emotional spectrums are based upon the stealing of innocence, and this was done before anybody knows about it. All of the things that happened ever since being incarnate here were not can be forgiven instantly within each. They just need to be recognized and shown wisdom and love. each is worthy of this, and this is self-forgiveness. This is judgment, but this must be done with truth and honesty, and honor. This is the time of this. There's a lot more information that is here that is never been known before, currently, and it is available. But yet, I wish to keep it very simple. This is a return to innocence and a return to grace. Now, many will have heard of the fall from grace. This is the return to grace, and it's a return to innocence, and that means a self-righteous, not right, truthful look, and a forgiveness of oneself, and a reconnection of the conscious to the heart. I don't wish to get into too much more depth with that currently, but this is what's occurring right now, and this is inevitable, it's undeniable, it's absolute, and it's ongoing, and it's imminent, and there's nothing stopping it now. The dark corruption and the infestation has been cleaned from the temple of heaven. It is now for each to come together inside, and I'm talking about internally and externally again, each to remember. So we are at this time, brothers and sisters, of remembering, a return to innocence, a return to grace, a reconnection, a reunion of the inner world, heart and mind, together. God, mother, father and mother together, forgiving the child and returning to innocence. Each will undergo this process, and we have all of the information, all of the support, all of the energetics. Everything is currently in place for this to happen rapidly at this time. It is time. Back over to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I was trying to adjust the camera here. It's doing wonky things, but that is fine. It's important when you consent with GPMS, what you're doing, and anyone that goes to the website, you need to consent. So when you're consenting, what you're doing is adding your vote, your agreement to this new world. Now, what also comes along with this is it is the most powerful contract, if you will, between yourself that is known to man and your contract to do the right things as well. But you can look at it being a contract, but it isn't. What you're doing is, it is and it isn't.
An
I shouldn't
accord.
have, an accord, an agreement. So what you're doing, thank you, brother, you're adding your agreement to what will be the billions of others shortly and the majority, your agreement to do what is right. But with this, you are activating and stating and proclaiming your state of being as standing fully into your unalienable rights, which is very important. Your right of self-determination, as Brother Lee says, is your right of choice. But the important thing is, when you add your agreement, you are also making an oath, if you will, to yourself and to God to do the right thing. And with this decree, what we have associated with GPMS is the most powerful, lawful instrument above any of the legal arena because, again, of what it implies of do no harm. And what this decree means, it cannot be violated nor compromised. If it is, anyone that attempts to violate your agreement, it sets off upon the other a huge negative karmic event, if you will. And this is also the reason what I'm getting at with this is because it's also an energetic field of protection for yourself that also protects you from the nefarious, darker, evil forces. Once you have made this energetic proclamation, it does miraculous things. I'll give you one example what it did to a 12-year-old boy in Florida um, when he consented to GPMS a few years. He was one of the first children. He wanted to do it on his own, and his mom sent me the story. They said his mom and dad told him what it was, what he was doing. He wanted to consent on his own. And when he did it, and when he submitted his consent, his agreement, what occurred, he looked at his mom and his dad and he said, something just happened to me. I felt like I was beginning to rise. Something happened that he noted and he noticed and he shared with this. Now, this may not occur with all, but I am saying this as a confirmation of the reality, what this does. And simply, it aligns everyone with the new world, with your full absolute abundance and freedom. So it is very powerful, not only on the material manifest or the physical world as an actual lawful agreement, also energetically what it does, it aligns you with the new world, with your divinity, and with the ascension. So the quicker we have everyone done, everyone that ratifies this agreement, the quicker the ascension happens, the quicker your ascension symptoms are alleviated or no longer necessary, and all of your daily struggles are eradicated with this. So it's common sense, and as soon as we get this done, get everyone ratifying their agreement, it is the most lawful, powerful document ever known to man. So we are ratifying physically, materially, the new world. And that cannot be diminished by anything. Anything less it cannot compete. Yes, brother, I see you're contemplating. Go ahead. I gotta go for a moment.
Brother Rick, what he's talking to there on the accord and the agreement is the chance here to honor your word. Now, many will say they are of honor. This is giving that honor to the unity. And with this accord, sorry, Vic's microphone's still on. Brother, can you still hear me? Okay. With this accord, with this action, with this energetic intent, this is the foundation of the new world where principle is honored, and each choosing to unite to change things to the better is the righteous path. And this is another reason why we say on the website, on the consents area, to read out loud, energetically read out loud the proclamation and the declaration, the decree, to read that out loud into reality. And this is the honor, this is the commitment, this is the agreement, the accord, the energetic alignment of the higher principle and the start of that. And this is what Brother Rick was alluding to with regards to the energetics of all of this too, and the necessity in this respect for the way it is being done. So the children of God, each and every one, will unite, and they will choose through their action, which effectively is their word, their thought, their intention, to unite their energetic intention, the fields, together, and principally then choose to honor themselves, and therefore each and every other equally, as is the principles of creation. I will leave it at that for now. Is there anybody with any questions?
I'm looking, brother. It's I don't see any questions, so this means we must be very divinely thorough, and also it must be very easily understood what we're saying, if you will. So,
Of course it
so
is.
far, yeah, I don't see any questions here on it. It is straightforward, and as I said, one even children themselves have been ratifying GPMS and wanted to do it. This means, they have the understanding and the feeling for this new free earth and what it does. So it liberates, yes, all. And with it, every child's consent counts. It doesn't matter if the child is, let's say, 1 day old, it becomes the moral obligation and responsibility of the parent or parents. It becomes their obligation to ensure the best interest and the welfare of that child. So this is part of the duty of being a parent, if you will, to do your best to look after the child's best interests. And every child's best interest right now upon earth is the GPMS replacement system to be a part of. I see you thinking, brother. Do you have anything to add there before I ramble?
No, well, I'm thinking without going into complexity now, or without taking it too far into the higher, and I don't believe that is necessary at this stage with what we have just completed energetically currently and where we currently are.
Mm-hmm.
There's two other factions that I would wish to speak to currently, and that's the military and the pharmaceutical industrial complexes, which are both heavily invested in maintaining their authority over the human souls. They are puppeteering and orchestrating all of your corporate leaders and the corporate policies through psyops and narratives. Also, nefarious galactics and ETs are infesting and infiltrating your other speakers, and they are the false prophets that were mentioned in other things too. So you have quite a lot on the plane that is trying currently to maintain control over your thoughts, over your belief systems, and to limit your choices into options into the immoral ones of not acting in the highest. The accord currently that we are talking to is the choice to break that and not worry about them and consider us. They are gone, finished. They are flailing in an attempt to maintain any kind of authority. The dark system has lost control of the lower ego. It's lost power over the lower ego. The distortions and corruptions within the emotional spectrums are destabilized and are currently short-circuiting, and this is the dark system's control over the human belief systems. This is failing rapidly. They have got no control over it left. They are desperately trying to maintain it with all sorts of narratives and falsehoods currently ongoing. Without going into, I'm trying not to go into any depth on this, and I don't wish to go into any other depths on anything else, brother, unless you prompt me on that one. Currently, I believe we have covered every area, unless a question comes in. There's nothing I can see outstanding or any loopholes currently at this stage, unless you are divinely prompt to find one. Over to you, brother.
Oh, brother, you're doing great. I was divinely prompted to try to get my video fixed up, but it doesn't work yet. So it's fine. Yeah. So let's say we covered quite a bit, and of course you're going to see more of this if it's divinely needed. But again, having said that, does anyone have any questions? Please put them up in the comments, if you will.
I see on
What
my
else?
phone there's 31 new comments, but I can't see any on the laptop.
I see 4 on here, but I was looking on the laptop. See a
No,
brother.
I don't think there are.
Yeah.
I don't think there are. Go on.
Just some comments, no questions that I see here. Yeah.
No, and I love the confirmations in there. It's nice to see one using the gematria or the math to actually agree with us rather than try to shut us down. So much thanks to Evercus DS, brother, for your input on there. We've had many, many dealings with those who would wish to use this against us to try to destabilize us, but we have rejected them outright. It's beautiful to see somebody coming in with the positive versions of these and using them with benevolence. So much gratitude to you.
Yeah. So with this, we ask for all of our brothers and sisters, if they are looking at this, and of course we will be downloading this and our intentions to put it out so others can view it. So having said that, we are calling, this is again a divine clarion call to bring all of our brothers and sisters in unity together with the existing GPMS guardians to get this done. I believe, Lee, we have perhaps um, uh, around 36 guardians on our 72 panel or so, and more, I believe, will be ready with our next GPMS panel 72 worldwide presentation. Again, ones need to realize, uh, if you look now, they look at uh, the masses, the people. What is occurring is approximately just over 200 leaders are dictating what the world should do at this time. So, typically one leader for every country. Having said this, it's about 200 that are running the show for 8 billion that are keeping the old system intact. This doesn't matter. We are peaceful, the people. We don't confront, we don't argue, we don't conflict with them. We simply overpower by creating the majority. Now, the reason I'm bringing this number up is very quickly what we are building with our GPMS panel, the courageous divine brothers and sisters that know what they're here to do. This panel gets bigger. It gets many thousands, also bigger than the current world leaders, if you will, and they fade from existence in that old system and political arena, what they supported. Ones need to also know currently worldwide at any given time, there is about 47,000 politicians that are in power. Again, when you look at these numbers, they are to be controlling the planet Earth to cause, as we said, and inflict all of this harm. It's not acceptable. It doesn't go forward. It's not condoned. It is not the right thing to do. It is not righteous what they're doing. I'd love to see perhaps some, if they're divine souls that are in politics, to come and endorse GPMS, do the right thing. But what I'm saying is we don't need them. We have the majority of the people and the divine delegations that are incarnated on earth to carry this through. So GPMS.world is inevitable, and it can happen very quickly. The more that recognizes their self and their connection to this and recognizes what it is and assists in getting this choice out to the people so we can get it ratified. Again, you can look at this as the most serious, unprecedented ever ratification treaty document of the people. It's the most lawful ever. And with this you cannot compare anything to what this is, because this is the heaven on earth reality, and you have, everyone has that choice to choose it now. And the quicker we get the majority worldwide choosing this, the quicker you are all home free and abundance and joy and laughter, and all of your children, you don't even need to look about their future because it's all secured in the now moment. So we need the moms stepping up. We need the children stepping up here. We need all the human souls stepping up and adding their agreement so we get this ratified. And it's nonsense not to do it. It's nonsense to ignore this. And again, what I say, the divine has a very good, uncanny, divine way of twisting one's arms. So with that, it's futile to resist the omnipotence of Prime Creator, Mother and Father God. It's happening. So the quicker you choose your freedom and your abundance instead of choosing the ignorance, then the quicker we get this done. All of us. It
There's
takes
a
all of us.
question. There's a question in the comments from Rachel Balkan Rome. How does one that relies on pharmaceutical for insulin for type 1 diabetes try to overcome the system? Whilst we're in this transitional period, ones must do what they must do to get through this period. So it's not about overcoming them to stop this. You utilize what you need to utilize in this transition, the same as all of the others. It's do what you've got to do. But currently, the situation is, I'm going to openly state this, when the people come together, we change the energetic environment. And those with these types of illness and dis-ease will miraculously find that they haven't got them anymore, or that they are healed very, very quickly, or that there's other types of system which assists very rapidly, which the current system has obfuscated from humanity to maintain this pharmaceutical. Now, that's beautiful for you to bring this in. I would like to go into the etymologies of the word pharmaceutical for each to understand, understand, and overstand. Pharmacia is the base etymology of the word pharmaceutical. Pharmacia is sorcery and poison. It's its base etymology, that is what it means. Pharmacia was utilized to create pandemos. Now, Pan was a inverted demon, and Pan's demons were what came in to the ones that drank the pharmacia. Pharmacia contained things like human embryos, child embryos, bloods, snake venoms, and these sort of ideas, which created a pandemos. This brought pandemonium into reality. All demons inhabiting inside the pan through the use of pharmacia. So this pharmaceutical ideologies that have been pushed around onto the human as if it's a good thing is a complete inversion of reality. And the whole of what the system has been trying to do is maintain your sickness and your illness, and slowly over time reduce you until you are no more. The current system you have to utilize as you do because of the systems that are already within, but they are fear-based dis-ease. Dis-ease is a state of being caused by the field and the system's design to lower one into a state of dis-ease. It is the complete opposite of ease or ease. Ease is peace inside. The system's designed to bring chaos inside. And this is why dis-ease is rampant and running, and the pharmacia is being utilized to maintain that system at your expense. And this is the pharmaceutical industrial condition, which is and has exacerbated by media, your media, where the bread and circus acts are shown, and the fear narratives and the indoctrinations are shown, and the infections go into the human minds, and that lowers the fear-based spectrums into dis-ease, telling what ones want to believe, etc., etc. So with regards to this, all I can say is that with regards to what each does in this current situation, maintain yourself within the current system as best as you can, and know that this will all change, but it will only change when we change the direction, and that requires the consent, the accord, and the agreement of the children of God upon the planet to do no harm. This starts from within and extrapolates to without. This is the choice, and everything is in alignment. And this is what Rick is saying: creation and father and mother. The way this is set up is so that each is their own savior, and each values and chooses to choose to value their own worth. The system currently has stolen that and tries to devalue you. This is the time for a re-evaluation and a revaluation, brothers and sisters. Over to you, brother.
Yeah. So Rachel, with your diabetes, what I need to say is within the natural remedies and the holistic approach, if you will, and changing your diet to just raw vegetables and fruits, what you do very quickly, you can overcome any of the diabetes as well. But having said this, as everyone transitions forward, as Brother Lee says, do what you feel you need to do. But what's occurring, and it has already begun to occur long ago, is the refining of the pharmaceutical system, if you will. What you see is the great emergence of the holistics and natural remedies coming back, which cleans the body. With the pharmaceuticals, it's the synthetic chemicals and arrangements of those which create sickness as well, but also the energetic environment, your current environment worldwide. What everyone is still in is a fear-based environment which creates disease and distortion. When you have everyone happy, what GPMS does, this is why there is no disease or sickness, if you will, in a environment that is based on peace, joy, love, harmony. This harmonizes it. This environment you're in now is disharmonic, so it makes it very difficult for an individual to heal themselves of the distortion because they're constantly contaminated and inflicted with the energy from the outside reality. So again, do what you feel to do in the now, but know it's going to keep changing, and you'll get weaned off of the pharmaceuticals, and you should be able to take yourself to full, complete recovery and health. Yes, brother.
I've got two bits of information that have just popped in based on this beautifully, and they are about an invisible enemy, one of which is called a germ or a virus, and the other one is called a terrorist or terror. They're in and around, I don't know the dates, it doesn't matter. Beauchamp had a terrain theory and Pasteur had a germ theory. Beauchamp's was that the inner terrain is where viruses were constructed through toxins. Inside, toxic areas within that were healing from within. And it had nothing to do with an external source. It was an internal source of toxin. The body heals itself. It's a brilliant. The innate immune system is incredibly misunderstood on the energetic levels currently because of this Pasteurism that brought into reality the idea that germs exist and that they can come and get you. This is what the genocide attempt was just attacked on, was the idea of a germ outside of you going to come and get you. And this is why pharmacia was utilized to, because you can't catch anything from outside. You must have it input into you. And they know this, and yet they conned and deceived everybody to have something that was jabbed. This is dealt with on the divine level, but nevertheless shows the deception and the deceit. They knew what was going to happen, and they wanted to kill the human. That wasn't going to happen on the divine level. The second one that came in was 3 buildings that fell down in 2001. down. I'm just going to use these terminologies for those that know, they know. And blamed on terror. And it was an invisible enemy, terror, that hasn't got a name, hasn't got a definition, hasn't got anything apart from a pointy finger, and that's terrorists. And this has been utilized ever since 2001 to corrupt and destroy many, many, many things under the act of, under the guise of terrorism. The false deception under this has enabled the military-industrial complex to run rampant across the planet under the guise of protection, the same as they did under the guise of protection from another invisible enemy in 2020. The histories that you are taught and the belief systems that you have been taught have corrupted the human into choosing to do that which is lesser for the behest, at the behest of the dark ones. It's called Hegelian dialect: problem, reaction, solution. They want to do something, so they create the problem. You choose the reaction. They infect you with fear, and you react, and then they give you the solution. But it was the solution that we're already after, and the problem was false. This is the way it's worked for millennia. And anybody that understands his story, and looks at it from a different angle from the one that you've been taught, can see over and over and over again how they've used the same doctrine, problem, reaction, solution, to create the world that they wished. And as humans chose it. This is the deceiver, this is the deception, yet they do not deceive anymore. They are seen. Every single avenue that they used to utilize to corrupt and hide in has been closed. There are no nooks and crannies for them to hide in anymore. They are done, finished, over, finalized. It is simply for each and every one now to choose not to pay them any attention and to look inside and pay yourself the attention you deserve. Much love, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, brother.
That came in, brother.
Yeah. The greatest desperate attempt at controlling humanity, as we said, began about 4 or 5 years ago, but it was well planned before that, and it was, let's say, their DEFCON, what you would call it. It was their last desperate attempt, and again, it failed. And it failed this time because there was divine direct intervention. What I wish to say, if there wasn't your world today, there'd be very few left here at all. That's how serious the attempt was, without getting into anything lengthy with that. So you need to be meticulous, and you need to be conscientious that who is actually your friends and who is not, who is deceptive. And anything with aggression, including a military, if you wish to give your power to that and back it up, military is a fear instrument. It is aggression. God is love, is peace, is not a fear instrument. So you have your choice for your own savior, if you will, the divine plan of GPMS.world and divinity and divine dignity in its fullest, or you can put yourself a slave to the current system, and where you give all your power away to it, it will decide your fate instead of you deciding your own fate. Anything before we end this, brother?
Well, truly, you have no choice. It's the deception that you do. Truly, you have no free will in this, because you will choose. The only thing that you have is how long you suffer for. That's the only choice you've got currently, and how deeply you suffer. Truly, there is no choice on this. Each will choose this, and this will be done as per Father Prime Creator's will. And those that procrastinate currently will suffer further. As Brother Rick said, there's a very twisting your arm, twisting one's arm. It makes it very, 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 very hard to remain in areas of resistance to this. So we are giving this from a place of absolute. It's not a. This is not a call for you to consider this. This is more of a call for you to decide on this. This is the time to decide, brothers and sisters, not to think about it, not to go away and have a chat with yourselves, but to really have a good look at yourselves and get on that arc. No, I don't think there's anything more, my friend.
Yeah, great. I'll just say, ones want to consider also what you're following and giving your power to. If there's money involved, if you got to subscribe to get some intel from someone, you need to look at these individuals that are. I received a list, I believe, that there are some that is currently made a business off of this false intel and narratives. And I believe one they said is making around $1 million a year or a month by one's paying a subscription or what have you. And then we look at like ones like Charlie Ward. I just received him attempting to entice someone to open a bank account or something. It's all Ponzi schemes and parts of the darkness to keep one distracted. But very importantly, what I'm about to say is do not give your money to any of these schemes, because another tactic of the darkness is to relieve you of all of your funds that it can, to financially burden you, to control you again. So you need to be conscientious and meticulous of these schemes. GPMS is authentic. Everything is transparent and is out there. The only time that we needed to fund is a little bit for the website, which we did. And there's been volunteers. All of us are volunteers with this, which accreditates to the fullest the authenticity of the genuine individual guardians and GPMS as a whole. So it's important as well to, be conscientious of who you're following and what is their underlying agendas. And if it involves money, then you can quickly see some of these are living a lavish lifestyle of their own, enjoying things while you are struggling and in a place of complacency and in a place of giving away your power. So everyone needs to look at this. And, we've gone long enough with the Gesera narrative by now. How many times do you need to be fooled? I think it was, who was it? It was Bush, wasn't it? I think he made this statement.
Yeah.
Fool, how did it go? Yeah, he said, "Fool me once, shame on you," and he said, "Fool me twice, shame on me." But he got it however it went. But that's only talking about twice. How many in the Gesera narrative? How many times have you been fooled? Come on. You got to see the deception by now. So, and also, there's another thing with the BRIC countries once thinking they're going to be the savior when actually they're just part of the dark narrative as well, to keep their political arena at always giving a false hope, a campaign promise to you that they never deliver on, because it's not because they can't, it's because they never want to. They only put it out there to keep you trapped in the illusion. So, anyone, again, we could say so much, but I believe, brother, we pretty well said it all that we need to say here tonight anyway.
I've got one more thing I'd like to add, brother, at this
Yeah.
stage. And it adds on to what you've just said about we've done this voluntarily, and there's been no. At the beginning of GPMS, I'd like to instill this in one's minds. it was divine. It was the principle of, we will not ask for funding in GPMS. We will not carry money. We will not disseminate money. We will not be middlemen to money. We will not fund anybody. This is voluntary, and it must be done voluntarily. There has been many that have been doing this, sharing this at their own cost, and many have found it very, very difficult to continue in this world, but they've continued sharing GPMS. And I wish to put out my love and gratitude to those that have maintained that path through perseverance and resilience, regardless as to their actions and their limitations, whatever. They have maintained their path. They have not fell off. Some have, some haven't. Doesn't matter who hasn't, who hasn't. You've still done what you had to do. And I appreciate every single one of you that has stood there in your light.
Thank you so much,
That's all I wanted to say, brother.
And I absolutely concur as well. It takes all of us to do it, and we're getting it done. And again, right from this moment, GPMS, your heaven on earth, could be here in a month. And this is realistic. It's not a pipe dream or what have you. It's common sense, and it can be as soon as the majority of the people want it. And it becomes each one's moral obligation and responsibility to share this choice with those that are open. Don't waste your time on ones that reject it for various reasons. Just gather the ones that want it. Worldwide, the majority of the people, I'd say 93%, are in some form of lack. We only require 51% to lawfully enact the replacement system in there. So we already have, it already exists, the majority support and vote. We just need to let everyone know that they have this choice. So, with that, I think we'll wrap it up, brother.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to change the old terminology. I'm going to call it wise love and gratitude to every single brother and sister, every single one of you. Wise love and gratitude. We've got this. It is imminent. It is very close. Appreciate you all, and let's see what happens over this next upcoming period.
Indeed. So with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone. And I believe we'll end this, and your new joyous world is close at hand. So choose it and let's get it done, and have an amazing day. And thank you so much, brother, for all of your work you put into all of this, as well as all of the guardians and every child, woman, and man soul upon earth as well, that understands and knows in their heart this needs to be done as soon as possible. No waiting. So with that, thank you once again, brother, and everyone watching, and have a beautiful day, and you'll be seeing more of us, and you'll be more of two of us, but also more of us as well, meaning with our 72 panel, and putting out, the choice that we're here. So for any of you that are, in a very, what you would think, can't, any destitute situation, it should not be very long before all boats are lifted, if you will, and not by endangering floods, but metaphorically, everyone is lifted onto the ark. So have a great day. Love, light, and gratitude. Woohoo! We got this. Thank you. I know.